you, Madam President. Good evening. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year, and welcome to everybody for 2018. We sincerely hope you enjoyed relaxing, joyful holidays with family and friends. And we look forward to January's support so I can share everything that happened at our schools for holiday activities. Our winter concerts were well attended and often standing room only. Guests enjoyed songs from around the world at several of our schools. At Fine Arts Academy, they held a door decorating contest. That was amazing. Did anybody else? You can go over there to see that. It was Collier's K4 students participated in a pajama day and read the Polar Express and drank hot chocolate. Country Place kindergartners and first graders were surprised by a visit from Santa Claus. Astoria Vista third and fifth graders held a cultural lunch where students brought food that they traditionally eat during the holidays. A lot of drives were conducted as well at Tres Rios. Nearly 300 community members attended a holiday around the world celebration, donated canned food to the Sun Angels. Quentin collected over 2,100 cans for St. Mary's Food Bank. And kindergartens at Tres Rios collected 50 new pairs of pajamas and 50 new books for kids to read over the holidays. Our staff at the district office complex held their annual Christmas lunch and were entertained by the Fine Arts DeCapo Choir. We also shared in the spirit of the season by adopting all 48 residents at the Avondale Senior Village this year. We all enjoyed shopping for specific items they wished for and delivered presents shortly before winter break. On that day, the seniors were treated to a nice performance from the Fine Arts DeCapo Choir. But I wish they had a bigger community room because so many of the residents missed out on the performance due to limited space. It's not very big. I don't think we can get a different venue. Our district has many things to be proud of. Continuing forward from the first semester, our enrollment has increased, and we now have an all-time high of more than 6,000 students choosing to attend our district. Our schools are continuing to implement new curriculum as the board's directed the superintendent's evaluation to help support increased student achievement. Our community successfully passed our bond election with the help of numerous community stakeholders like Diego Espinoza, who didn't get listed in our contributions report, our own Curtis Nielsen, who volunteered once again as treasurer of Political Action Committee, or PAC, as well as vendors that help fund PAC activities in the 3 Tolleson region elections. We have another election coming up next fall, if anyone wants to help. Our Kids at Hope activities in the first semester showed our commitment to believing that all kids can succeed. The governing board went on a listening tour of all the schools before break, and we'll hear more about that later tonight. And finally, our 3rd annual Littleton Schools of Choice campaign is queued up to launch on January 22nd. That's a lot of activity, so I want to thank you all for your heroic efforts, and we look forward to seeing great things happen in the second half of the year. Over the break, I had an opportunity to meet with 3 Avondale City Council members to discuss growth in the district. Council members Veronica Malone, employee in our district, Tina Conde, who's new to the council, and Pat Dennis, whose husband worked with me in another district, all met for a discussion. Interesting side story, Tina applied to be a new council member after hearing the eulogy at Sandy's services. So she said it worked. Another person engaged in supporting the community and service to everybody else. That was a nice story. Yesterday, Governor Doug Ducey delivered his 2018 State of the State address, and the governor made new commitment to increase investments in education, which is, of course, a lot easier to do after you've cut it drastically, but he doesn't consider the cuts on his watch. So he held a press conference this morning to explain his plan. It includes a proposal for bonding to finance school facility board projects, the restoration of capital assistance over a 5-year phase-in, rolling the 1.06% teacher bonus into the base support level and funding inflation on top of that for teacher salaries. He plans to accomplish this by tightening the budgets of other state agencies instead of any new revenue stream. The governor also committed to make small additional investment in career and technical education. Our students participate in CTE both in their own high schools and at the West MEC campuses. CTE is a targeted investment in preparing students for meaningful work in our community. There's also a small amount for expanding voluntary full-day kindergarten. We didn't hear where any other new revenue would come from for teachers or the renewal or enhancement of the Prop 301 referendum that sunsets in 2 more years. We won't actually see the executive's budget until the end of the week. Everybody's concerned how this plan will be permanent and lasting, so it could be devoted to salary increases for all of our state's teachers. As many people remember, we hosted the launch for the Arizona Teacher Academy last semester for individuals whose education will be paid for if they commit to teaching in Arizona. But we wonder how the Board of Regents will prioritize that program if they need to make tough budget decisions in the future. As Arizona PTA President Beth Simic said, they need a sustainable plan they can count on with a dedicated revenue source. And Don Thatcher, spokesperson for Save Our Schools Arizona, said, we're hopeful this funding plan would seriously address the $1.1 billion in cuts. They have yet to be reinstated, but if we follow the governor's plan, it will take another decade or longer to get us back to where we were a decade ago. And that won't move us out of the bottom of the barrel in funding. This kind of turmoil we get into every legislative session when it kicks off, so like to get back to local financial realities, and we want to thank Taco Bell for allowing us to use their parking lot and their water for Littleton Elementary School PTA and National Junior Honor Society sponsored car wash to raise funds for 8th grade students who will be going on the field trip to Washington, D.C. And last semester over at Estrella Vista, Commander Joel Lassman, a child of 2 Holocaust survivors, spoke to 8th grade classes and shared the history of World War II and his parents' experiences in the Holocaust. We appreciate his volunteerism. Tonight we're recognizing student athletes from our last season's competitions, but now the soccer season is underway. Students are excited to start the season. Our first games began yesterday, so you can come out and watch our amazing athletes in the season ahead. In closing, I'd like to express our appreciation to Angelica Valenzuela and Country Place PTA for their multiple contributions to student field trips last month, and to Cost Plus World Market for a $300 gift donation to the Fine Arts Academy. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman.